Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jared here with my mom.
Hello.
We just went and saw Cheap Trick and Styx in St. Augustine at the St. Augustine Amphitheater. Today is, what's the date? February 28th, 2026. And before we get into the concert and everything about it, I wanted to ask you your history with Cheap Trick and Styx as it relates to you.
Well, one of my first memories of Cheap Tricks and most memorable is when I was a kid. Went into a gas station and found a Cheap Trick cassette and stole it because I loved them so much. And my mom was very strict, so even at the cost of being caught and getting in serious trouble, I went ahead and did it, and it was worth every spanking I got. But that's how I got into them, and that's how it started.
So I've definitely had a few songs over the years that I've been a fan of when it comes to Cheap Trick and Styx. I remember you singing I Want You to Want Me back when I was a little kid, and you were the one that suggested this concert to me. And how did you find out about this concert?
I was going through looking at different venues in Florida because we were looking for concerts, around Christmas time through February time. And I came across this, and I thought it was perfect. And we had never been at this venue, and it was close to home, so I thought it was perfect.
I'm not a huge Cheap Trick and Styx fan, but like I said, there are a few songs that I like of theirs. I know Renegade was another one that you used to love and sing all the time back in the day, but I was interested in going to this concert. I'm glad that you suggested it. We had never been to the St. Augustine Amphitheater before. I had been close at least once, but this was the first time that it actually happened. So got the tickets the night before, and we went ahead and bought 2 tickets, and not the pit, but the section behind the pit. If you're looking at the stage, it's on the left side of the stage. And they were about $200, actually a little bit less than $200. And we drove over there today, and when we pulled off I-95, it was crazy. We looked over and we saw a car flipped over. This had just happened minutes prior,
right off the ramp we were getting off of.
And there were a few cars that had stopped and had, went over there to assist and help them. We think they were okay.
It looked like everybody got out and was okay. They looked stunned.
Yeah, but ambulance or nothing had arrived yet. It just had happened, so that was pretty wild. As we started to drive a little bit further, I think an ambulance did drive by us with its sirens on, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So that was pretty crazy, but overall, I mean, driving was not really an issue, not too much traffic. And since we had never been to this venue before, I wasn't exactly sure how the parking was going to go. But I did do some research beforehand, and basically they said that the event or the venue parking sells out quickly. It fills out quickly. And I was figuring that we would probably just do parking near the venue. So when we pulled up...
You called it satellite parking.
Yeah, so satellite parking. And we pulled up and we saw some satellite parking near the venue, and we went ahead and parked over at this park, and luckily it was completely free, so that was awesome. Got out of the car, and one of the first things I noticed was the weather.
Yes.
So you had suggested to me that I dress warm, and I was a little stubborn and hard-headed and just decided to go into t-shirt and shorts. I know you wore pants and a sweatshirt, but when I looked at the temperatures beforehand, I saw it was going to be in the upper 50s all night, and I was just gonna stick it out. But when we got out of the car, I was like, wow, it's a little bit colder than I thought it was. And at that time, it was in just the low 60s. But the thing for me, I think it was really the wind chill that made it so cold.
Yes.
So I was a little worried about that. But we walked a little bit. And the cool thing about this park nearby was they had a shuttle service. So we just waited for this shuttle, got on the shuttle quickly, and they drove us right to the venue. So that was really nice.
And he was super friendly. Like he got everybody going on the, like, where's everybody from? Who drove the farthest? Are we all Styx fans? Like, it was fun.
Yeah, I actually had a coworker that told me a long time ago that she went to the St. Augustine Amphitheater and that it was a breeze getting in and out of there. So you never know until you actually experience it, but I gotta agree with her. It definitely was very easy. So got out of the shuttle. I wanted to get a good picture of the signage outside of the venue that said that Styx and Cheap Trick were sold out. So that'll be cool for the vlog and the podcast, whatever I decide to use it for. But walked on in there, and this is an amphitheater, so it's outside. They had a lot of like food trucks and stuff like that, but everyone started to file in. And I know you wanted to look at the merchandise. What did you think of the merchandise?
I thought the Styx merchandise looked really good. I really didn't even notice the Cheap Trick merchandise until I had been standing in line for about 15 minutes, and I look over and I saw the Cheap Trick merchandise. But I was more drawn to the to the Styx merchandise over the Cheap Trick merchandise, and I thought the pricing was a little high.
Yeah, pricing is always high on these things. I know the shirts were like $45 each. They also had some drumsticks and some CDs.
Koozies.
And I wasn't personally interested in buying anything, but like I said, I did think some of the shirts were cool for Styx. So I thought it was interesting the Cheap Trick shirts were also $45. But I definitely think Styx had better merchandise, so tell the viewers what you got.
I got a 3/4 sleeve, like baseball t-shirt of Styx, and it was $55, I believe.
Oh, was it? I didn't even know that. Wow. I thought the line moved pretty swiftly when it came to the merchandise.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And not only that, the guy that was getting the shirts, he was keeping people in place. Like they were trying to start a second line when we had been in line the whole time, and he kept saying, "Come on, guys, that's not fair. Like the line starts over here." So he was like trying to keep things in order. I appreciated that.
So another cool observation that I made, by the way, I didn't get any merchandise for this particular concert, but another observation that I thought was cool was next to the merchandise and all the food vendors and stuff like that, they had these screens that were kind of just updating every few seconds, showing what shows are coming up and whatnot. But I got a good picture of the Styx and Cheap Trick concert poster too, so that was cool. And then you went ahead and got some food and let them know what you got.
I got a loaded baked potato and candy and a soda, and it came out to about $23, which honestly I didn't think was that bad for this kind of venue.
I thought it was going to be more, but we got the food and then headed on inside the amphitheater.
And it was delicious.
So we headed on into the amphitheater, and we got to our seats. And one thing that was a little weird, the section that we were in, our seats were numbered every other number. So like we had seats 27 and 29, but we were right next to each other, which I didn't know that for sure. When I bought the tickets on the map, that's what it said, that they were right next to each other. But then when I saw the numbers. I was a little freaked out by that. So I'm glad that we got to sit right next to each other without any issues. So what were your first impressions when we sat down at the venue?
I thought it was beautiful, and I knew we were going to have a good showing because of it being an amphitheater. But like you, I was concerned about the weather because it was cold.
Yeah, so it holds about 5,000 people. We had a really good view. We were really close, and the crowd started to file in. And showtime was 7. I think Cheap Trick went on a little bit before 7, like maybe a few minutes before. But it was just Cheap Trick and then Styx afterward. There were no other bands. And when before they went on, they played a little AC/DC over the PA, and then they went ahead and started their show. So what did you think of Cheap Trick?
Cheap Trick, I enjoyed this show. I thought they sounded good. I did think that the instruments overpowered the vocals, so it was hard to understand or like recognize some of the songs. But I thought they sounded really good.
So I really enjoyed Cheap Trick, and I thought their lead singer was really cool. I really liked his hat, and I thought they sounded really well, and I thought their lead guitar player was funny. He was like an older guy. I mean, they're all older, but he just cracked me up a few times with some of the things that he was saying and doing. Like, I know there was one song he introduced by like saying, "This is one of the songs off of our record." And then there was like another time where he was throwing a pick out into the crowd, and he didn't throw it far enough. It just landed on the stage, so he had to throw another one. But yeah, he cracked me up. I
also saw him at one point, because he switched out guitars often, that he was getting tired towards the end, and he almost like dropped it on the ground. The guy was like trying to catch it before it went on the ground. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, he made a lot of guitar changes throughout the set. I know he had that one, was it a saxophone?
Yes.
Guitar.
Yeah.
He had a saxophone guitar, and he was definitely communicating with his guitar tech multiple times throughout the set. But yeah, one thing I think was really cool about Cheap Trick is, you know, they're a bunch of older guys, and they're just still out there having a good time and putting on a good show all these years later. I mean, they've been around since the early 70s. And I thought the lead singer was good, but it was challenging to understand what he was saying at times. And I think something cool about Cheap Trick is they made it a point to showcase like each member of the band. Like, they had a drum solo, they had a bass solo. I think wasn't there a song where like one of the other members like sang or something? Yeah. The bass player had a song where he was on lead vocals. And speaking of the bass player, one observation I made, he had an Explorer guitar, but it was a bass guitar. I've never seen an Explorer as a bass. I've only seen Explorers as like regular guitars. But I thought it was really awesome when they did "I Want You to Want Me" and "Surrender." Those were like definite highlights. But one little side storyline when it came to both bands was they had this woman doing sign language, and I've seen videos of this at concerts before, but I've never actually witnessed it in person, and that was very interesting. I thought it was pretty funny and entertaining just from my standpoint. I guess it is cool that like they're doing that for people who are deaf and stuff. But just like during the drum solo and stuff, it was just funny how she was doing like the air drums, and during guitar solos, she's just doing like air guitar, stuff like that. So that was just humorous to me, and definitely something that we were keeping our eye on during the concert. What did you think about her?
I thought she was very useful and very entertaining as well. And I actually made a joke in the concert, like I couldn't understand what they were saying, so I looked over to the translator to see if I could understand her.
So yeah, to go back to the weather, It was very cold. It was a high 50s, like I said, and there was definitely that wind chill, the breeze that was going on every once in a while. But I don't think it was as bad just because there were so many people around us. So in the future, I'll definitely wear warmer clothes, but it didn't like ruin the concert for me or anything. It was definitely tolerable. So that was that. Trying to think. So, what are some other observations you had about Cheap Trick?
Well, one of the things that really caught me with Cheap Trick was, okay, let's back up to getting ready for the concert. I pulled out a pair of tennis shoes that I thought were going to be comfortable. It kind of like matched my outfit. They're a pair of checkered tennis shoes. We get to the concert and, well, anyways, Cheap Trick starts, and I see that they have checkered background. They have like a checkered amplifier. They have, the guitar player had a checkered strap on his guitar. Like there was all kinds of checkered stuff, and like this blows my mind because I don't wear these shoes very often. I've only worn them once to a race, and I wear them tonight, and I have those signs everywhere. It was just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that was definitely cool, and that was definitely funny. We just kept seeing checker like things all night long, it seemed like. But Cheap Trick played for an hour, and I really enjoyed their set, and it was cool to experience those songs live for the first time. And the fans are really into it. I will say, my observation on the fans, so there was seating for every single person, even the pit had seating, and I would say like a lot of the show people were sitting down, but during like the most popular songs they were definitely standing up, and it was just cool to kind of look around, just see people really into it and having a great time and just reminiscing, and just the nostalgia was definitely in the air. And as far as the demographic goes for the crowd, it was a lot of old white people. It was, which I guess is to be expected.
Caucasian.
Yes.
I'm glad they played the popular songs that I knew.
Definitely. So their set ended, and there was about a 20-25 minute intermission in between, and they broke down Cheap Trick's set, and they got the Styx set up. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, I don't know if Styx is going to be able to top what Cheap Trick did, because I thought Cheap Trick did very well. So Styx came on, and tell me what you thought about Styx.
I thought they blew Cheap Trick away. I thought the vocals were very clear. You could identify every single song, and let me tell you, they all sound amazing. Every one of them.
Yeah, I thought Styx was great. I thought it was a really cool show to do Cheap Trick and Styx together. But Styx, yeah, they were great. And I would say like the main star for them is definitely their lead singer on the keyboards. I'm not sure what his name is, but he is very flamboyant, and he is a showman. He kind of reminds me of like David Lee Roth, but better.
Yes.
But better.
Yes.
But he was funny. He's. I'm not super familiar with Styx, so I didn't really know what to expect as far as like how their band is set up. But he's on his keyboard most of the show, and the keyboard, you know, spins around, like, and he's dancing and
straddling it.
Yeah, he's like he liked to thrust and hump the air a lot. There were a lot of times where like his ass was toward us, like for a good portion, and he's just like shaking his ass. But he's really, really good singer and keyboard player, and it's just crazy that like after all these years, he still sounds as good as he does, and has that much energy at that age.
Yeah.
And I was actually wondering if maybe they were playing to a backing track or lip syncing, but I don't think they were.
No, I didn't think so either.
But man, his keyboards, like the tone of his keyboards a lot of the time definitely give off a very like retro, robotic, synthesizer tone to it, which I really like, especially when it's high in the mix. And a lot of times he would be like facing the crowd but playing the piano behind his back, stuff like that. So that was cool. But he was very, very entertaining for sure. And he was like definitely one of my favorite parts about their set.
Can I make one small comment too? Because we're talking about the piano player. The last time that we talked, I said rock music needed more saxophone and more piano in it. And this concert had both. I am so stoked about that.
Yeah. One thing I like about Styx, I think they do a really good job a lot of the time with like the way that they end their songs. Like they'll kind of just end out of nowhere sometimes, and like the crowd just goes crazy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. That happened on multiple songs. They played a lot of hits. I definitely recognize more Styx songs, and they even played a few hits in the beginning of the set.
Yeah.
Like with Cheap Trick, I thought like they played lesser known songs like the majority of the set, and then like played the hits at the end, but they didn't end with a hit. I think they should have ended with Surrender or I Want You to Want Me, but they actually ended on some other song. But with Styx, I think they did kind of a better job of distributing it throughout the concert. Like I know in the beginning they did The Grand Illusion and Blue Collar Man. Blue Collar Man was definitely, and The Grand Illusion was definitely some of the major highlights for me out of their whole set. But yeah, they did those pretty early. And to go back to the lead singer on the keyboards, he made multiple costume changes throughout the night. Like he started with this like purplish pink jacket that he was wearing, and then he kind of just went to like a blue, what was it, long sleeve, or not blue, a black like long sleeve, and then there was one point where he was wearing this like really rainbow color like jacket that was like just filled with all these different colors. So that was interesting.
And the gold one. The gold one I think was the last one.
Yeah, he had a gold one. One thing about Styx set, I didn't realize that their guitar player, the blonde one, he sings lead on some of their most famous songs. I figured it would just be like the same singer, but it was actually the lead guitar player with the blonde hair. Like on Renegade, he sang lead. But yeah, like they played so many hits. I know they played Come Sail Away. Too much.
Bravado.
Yeah, Too Much Time on My Hands. And some that I didn't know, but a lot of people knew. Like I know you knew some of the ones that were also popular. They had 3 guitar players and then a bass player. The bass player is actually the keyboard / lead singer. That's his brother. And one of the guitar players has been in the band. It seems like just a few years. The drummer, he kind of looked like Gary Busey to me from my standpoint. He was a very good drummer. Had a huge drum set.
He had a double bass. I've never seen that.
He's been in the band since the 90s, apparently.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah. And then
you could feel the thumping of the bass like in your chest. You're like, I love that. I love when you can feel it.
Something else about their set, they had a lot of videos going on the video board right behind the drum set. So that was going on, I think, every single song. They had a bunch of different just things going on during those songs, which was interesting. I thought the light show was decent, nothing crazy. They had some fog, I noticed, throughout some of the songs. But I remember at one point they brought this one guy out. It was another bass player. I don't know who it was. He seemed like
he was like an original player that they brought out just for a couple songs.
You're for sure about that?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Like he was like one of the original players.
I didn't know who he was, but he was out there for a few songs, so there were a lot of people on the stage for Styx. Yeah, I thought the drummer was very good, very energetic, and I didn't realize like how prominent the drums are in some of their songs until until this concert. But that was cool. But I thought the lead singer on the keyboards, I thought he sounded so good. His voice sounded very, very well. He's just done a great job maintaining it over the years. And I also thought the blonde guitar player, his voice still holds up really well.
And they were really belting out like some really long notes.
Yeah, high notes too.
Long and high. And I would say the same for Cheap Trick, because at the end, Cheap Trick also did a really long note that I was really impressed with.
But yeah, they played for an hour and a half, and I think the crowd was definitely more into Styx, and they had a better reception. I just think more members of Styx were catering to the crowd and just smiling and looking like they were having a better time. Not that Cheap Trick, not that they weren't having a good time, but I just think that they were.
They looked younger, is what it is.
They are
like they were younger too.
But I know you looked it up and you said that they are literally from the same exact era, 72, 73. I'm very excited to see the vlog. I really tried to record things that I thought were cool and just tried to focus on really what was happening during the show. But man, they played all the hits. They didn't play that one song you wanted to play. What's it called?
Babe.
And so that's disappointing, but I do think they did get all the hits in.
Yes, they hit Renegade and Bravado. I enjoyed the crap out of those because, like, to hear them on the radio is one thing, but to see them sing it, like, it just feels better. I don't know how to describe it other than it feels better when you hear it.
Yeah, but it was a very fun concert. I really enjoyed myself, and I'll never forget this one for sure.
Aw, that's so
What?
nice that you won't forget it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Really enjoyed the time spent with you, and I'll definitely wear warmer clothes next time. But any final thoughts on the show?
I would do something like this again. This was a classic rock concert.
Yeah.
It had the rock elements, but it also had the ballads.
Some slow songs, some faster songs.
They put in some like psychedelic type sounds in there in some of the Styx songs. Like I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah, and they're still making music, which is cool. It's not like they're just completely banking on the hits. So that's cool. They're still making music for sure.
Oh, there was one other comment that I wanted to make about Styx is I really loved when the lead singer gave props to the other singer with his songwriting capabilities and so forth. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, and I think he did a good job just showcasing everybody to the crowd. Cheap Trick did have like the solo spots for everybody, but I think the lead singer of Styx really did a good job of like explaining each member and like their contributions and just giving more information. But I know you mentioned earlier about the audio. I think Styx, their audio was definitely much better. It was easier to hear the singers and to understand what they were saying, and it just wasn't like as distorted. So I gotta definitely compliment the audio team for Styx more than Cheap Trick.
One other thing I wanted to say about the two different bands was, and the vocals, I guess, is that Styx was so much more harmonized than Cheap Trick. I think if Cheap Trick would have harmonized a little better, it would have sounded better.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it just seemed like an audio issue, but I mean, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe it was just how they sounded.
I think it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
It was definitely an audio issue.
But yeah, that was Cheap Trick and Styx. I like the venue. Glad we got to finally experience this venue for the first time. And yeah, getting out was it was pretty elbow to elbow getting out, slow moving traffic. We were thinking about taking the shuttle back to the car, but the line was very long, so we're like, let's just walk. But anyway, got back to the car. On the way there, got to see this guy that was trying to sell some t-shirts of the concert, which honestly, I was thinking like that those shirts probably were more what I would be interested in compared to what they were actually selling at the venue, because I noticed that the venue for the merchandise, like they had like Styx had shirts that said St. Augustine on it, like on the tour dates, but they didn't have any of the actual like dates of the concerts, or nothing that said 2026. So that was a little disappointing. But these bootleg shirts actually had like everything you would want on it, and they were $20. But I thought about getting it, but I was like, I'm all right. So I didn't get that. But yeah, walking down the sidewalk to our car, got to see the St. Augustine Lighthouse in action in the distance. That was cool. But yeah, it was nice to get in the car and just put the heat on, because yeah, it was definitely a chilly night, very chilly night. I wouldn't say it was like freezing, but very chilly.
I'm just thankful it didn't rain.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Even though there was covers, it would have made it miserable.
Yeah, the amphitheater was covered, and they did have some fans. I was thinking during the concert, like, imagine if they put the fans on, like how miserable that would be. But yeah, what are your final thoughts about the whole night?
I just had a really good time. I didn't know what to expect, and if I did have expectations, I think they would have exceeded them. I thought for their age and for the years that they've been around, I thought it was an amazing concert.
Yeah, and I don't think it dragged. I don't think it lasted too long. I just really enjoyed how they sounded, and just the energy, and just how much fun, like especially the lead singer of Styx was having. But yeah, fantastic night. It was great. I would definitely see them again, and it was worth every penny for me. And I enjoyed the time spent with you once again. And yeah, just another night of bonding for us, for sure.
Yeah, until the next one.
Yes, definitely. So hope you all enjoyed. If you went to the concert, let us know what you think. Please comment about it. And if you've seen them before, what did you think? And yeah, hope you can comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take care.